Well, hello everybody again. So this is Dr. David Chan coming from Ridgefield, Washington, and I'm excited to demonstrate today how I'm going to use OMNICHROMA to block out and restore this large through and through class 3 restorations on the left central incisor. So for the purposes what we're here for, this has already been etched and bonded, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the restoration phase. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, because this is a through and through class 3, I'm going to go ahead and develop my palatal layer and contain that. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to take a piece of mylar and I'm going to go ahead and insert that, because I want to build my palatal layer very nicely here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and take my mylar and insert it in there and create a lingual barrier. The next thing what I'm going to do is I am going to use to create my lingual layer with OMNICHROMA, and I'm going to use the OMNICHROMA paste to do that. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and take a little bit of this. I'm going to bend my mylar back, and I'm going to, on the palatal, I'm going to go ahead and fold that in so where you see the blue of my glove. So I've got that really adapted tightly, and I'm going to express a very thin layer of the OMNICHROMA composite, just very thin, just for the palatal shell. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my multi-use instrument here and pack that to the palatal and just create basically a barrier. Now you can use the flowable for this too, but I just find it a little easier being able to manipulate a paste-like composite, because it allows me to manipulate it a little bit more easier. So I'm going to take an IPC long, and we're going to just go ahead and remove any excess that we And then I'm going to take a number 1 brush with some resin, modeling resin on there, and just go in and just finesse that, because this is the best instrument, a brush to finesse uncured composite. And I want that just very thin, and if I think it needs to be thinner, I just go ahead and go in there and thin it out. But just the palatal shell. This is OMNICHROMA. I'm going to go get my light, and we're going to polymerize that real quick. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the OMNICHROMA blocker paste composite, and I'm going to fill that class 3 where dentin normally would be, and I'm going to try to keep this material about 0.5 millimeter from the final surface. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my composite gun, and we're going to go ahead and express some blocker so that it comes to about 0.5 millimeter from the facial surface. And I'm not going to put this material into the proximal either. This is just normally where dentin would be found, and you can just use this instrument real nicely to remove any excess. And the reason I want to keep it away from the surface is I don't want this restoration to be too opaque. I want it very natural looking. So I don't want the blocker too close to the surface. Otherwise, it's going to have too much opacity there. So you can see I'm just removing any excess blocker, and I'm just using this instrument to keep it away from the proximal. And then I'll take my brush and finesse it. Go ahead and polymerize that. And then now, finally, I'm just going to go ahead and add my final layer of OMNICHROMA over the blocker here. And you can see pretty much that restoration has disappeared already. I know we still have one more layer, but you can see the result. It's going in the right direction here. And we're just going to go add that final layer there. Like so. Take my IPC. In, and I can even use the pull-through technique and just go ahead and just hold that there and pull that through, and it's going to really adapt that OMNICHROMA. Now obviously we have some excess, but it's not a big concern because we're just going to go ahead and remove it. Can go back. Look how nicely OMNICHROMA handles. I can go in there and sculpt it before we polymerize. And then I come back with my brush again. Very important step. This really finesses the material. You can pretty much see, I haven't even finished this yet, it's pretty much disappeared already. So the final step, just finishing and polishing, I'm just going to go take a medium disc, like a soft flex disc, and refine that embrasure where the class 3 used to be. And these discs are really nice because they can get right into that embrasure and help me shape that. In fact, anytime I do restorations with composite, the first thing I touch it after the last layer are discs, no burrs. You can see I haven't even finished, that's pretty much disappeared already. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch to a 90 micron coarse anatomy trimmer and basically just refine that. And then because this tooth has a little pericomata, I'm just going to be true and put that back a little bit, just where that class 3 used to be. And then what I'm going to do, take my ASAP, this is the 45 micron wheel, and that's the 6 micron. So we'll start with the 45 micron. So we'll start with the 45 micron. Just go in here and give it a few strokes just to smooth that out, and then the 6 micron ASAP wheel to smooth it out a little more. And then finally the cotton wheel with a little bit of enamelize. A little bit of enamelize here. Here, just need a little bit, just touch that, and voila, look at that. That class 3 through and through has virtually disappeared, and that's how easy it is with OMNICHROMA.